But wide receivers, all right? First question I got for you, Amari Cooper, right? We know he's going to be a free agent. It looks like it. I mean, maybe he gets franchise tag if some deal gets done with Dak Prescott. How much money do you think Amari Cooper gets on the open market?
Put up the graphic with the full salaries, and let's see. Or the top 10 receiver salaries.
Yeah.
And let's put it in comparison to who's up there.
Right.
Julio Jones at 22. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think that Cooper, now again, the cap keeps going up. If the new CBA gets passed, there's going to be more. That's the one thing we have to take into account here. New CBA means more money is going to be available for these guys, both this year and beyond. The cap's going to keep going up and up and up. I could see Amari Cooper, if he hits the open market, getting at least $20 million and possibly just squeezing out, because we know how the agents are. They want to get a little bit more than the last guy who got the most. 22-1, 22-2, 22-5, whatever it may be. And when you now the one thing that pushes against that, all of the rookie receivers. Maybe you're not going to have a land rush for Amari Cooper.
Right.
But we've seen how he runs routes. When we do Got Him during the season on PFT Live, every week there's an Amari Cooper route. He's awesome. I don't think he's ever been fully utilized, even by the Cowboys. And I could see somebody making him the highest paid receiver just because of the circumstance. A great receiver, hitting the market, unfettered, at a time when the cap keeps going up and up. It won't surprise me if he's 22-5.
Gosh, I would be surprised if it went that high. I would. I can't lie. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be north of 18. You know, again, this is to me where I think the NFL owners and stuff got to put things like into perspective. We can't always let the new guy always get more. Like Amari Cooper doesn't deserve to be paid like Michael Thomas.
Good luck convincing the one owner that says, I want this guy. Go get him.
I know. You're right. I just, the owners, they collude about everything. And that's stuff they don't want to colluding about. And I think it would actually help players. But, either way, yes, he is going to get north of $18 million in my opinion as well. And I think ultimately, even if he hits the free agent market, I think Dallas is going to find a way to keep him because I think he wants to be in Dallas too. I think he's found a little niche where he feels comfortably, physically, emotionally, mentally, everything there in Dallas. So that'll be something to keep our eyes on. Now, A.J. Green is the other huge talking point of the wide receiver discussion, right? We're going to tag him by all accounts, I would think. Again, I'll lead this off. The question being, should the Bengals keep him or trade him? I would trade A.J. Green. As you just talked about, there's a ton of wide receivers in the draft. You're going to get Joe Burrow. I would start trying to build something for the future around Joe Burrow as long as he's okay with that. If Joe Burrow is so adamant that, oh, my gosh, you got to have A.J. Green, then that would, I don't know. That would maybe throw a curveball to things. But I personally would try to look to trade an A.J. Green at this point of his career and start a new era in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's played in 7 games the last 2 seasons. He hasn't had more than 1,100 receiving yards since 2015. Tag and trade. Even if you have to carry him into the season and trade him during the regular season when there's someone who's desperate for help and maybe willing to give you more than they'll give you now. But that, you got to ask yourself, if we tag and trade before the draft, we get help this year. If we tag and trade during the season, we get our help next year. I think they should tag and trade.
I do too.
And if they can't trade him, then just keep him for one more year and let him walk away. But I'm very nervous about the fact he didn't play last year. I'm very nervous about the fact that we've only seen him in 9 games, the last 2 seasons. He's going to be 31 or 32. Let's check his birthday.
Yeah, I think
he
32.
turns 32
right
on July 31. I'm nervous about the recent history of A.J. Green.
Yeah, I hear you, and that makes me wonder what the trade market will be like because I think teams are going to question that. But I'm with you as well. I would be tagging and trading him all the way and try to do it before the draft. I would acquire assets, go from there. I think ultimately, teams there's going to be a market for A.J. Green to where if you do decide you want to trade him, I think you can get 2 or 3 teams involved in the conversation to help drive up the price, and they could probably get close to what they really want for him. So that'll be interesting. All right, now, when you talk about the rest of the wide receiving core, like the best of the rest, who's the guy that jumps out to you? Rashad Perryman, Randall Cobb, Emmanuel Sanders, Nelson Aguilar, Devin Funchess, Robbie Anderson from the New York Jets, Demarcus Robinson. Who's the next guy that kind of makes Mike Florio perk up when you hear his name?
Remember when I said these guys are available for a reason?
Yeah.
Look, I would say Emmanuel Sanders just because of his leadership. He's older now. They gave up a 3 and a 4 to get him during the season in San Francisco. I'll be stunned if he hits the open market, but he recently said there's been no talks. I like the fact that he's versatile. I like the fact that he's a good leader, that he's a seasoned veteran, and he seems to be not losing the foot race with Father Time at all. So that's one that stands out for me. Beyond that, look, Brashad Perryman kind of got it together in Tampa last year. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this guy to live up to his first-round potential, and speed is always a benefit, but Sanders is the one that sticks out for me.
Yeah, Sanders, I think, is going to find a spot. He's going to, he's going to try to, the team that's going to want him is going to want to be a team that's like in the win mode right now. I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up in New England when all said and done. I know they liked him when I was working there. They've always had a thing for Emmanuel Sanders, and I think he would fit that. Not necessarily a guy you want to commit a lot of years to, because you mentioned the age thing is real. Two guys that jump out to me. Robbie Anderson, who, I'm not necessarily a fan of him off the field with the few issues he's had, which bother me, okay? But there's no denying the guy can fly. He can take the top off of a defense, as we talk about a lot. He is that type of guy. There's going to be a market for him. Another one on the list that jumps out to me is Demarcus Robinson. I think Demarcus Robinson can be an NFL team's really good number 2 wide receiver. He's tall, he can run, he adjusts to the ball well. He's got a lot of things to like. Got overshadowed in Kansas City's offense because they have a lot of different weapons and they just can't get him the ball as much. But I think if he went somewhere and became he'd be a good number 2, and he could put stats up to easily justify that. That would be a guy that I would look at
Chris,
under the radar, good value.
I've talked to Patrick Mahomes about Demarcus Robinson because they had a great connection in week 2 against the Raiders. They have incredible chemistry.
Yes.
And it could be, we talk about Sammy Watkins possibly being gone in Kansas City and Mecole Hardman being bumped up. I think maybe Demarcus Robinson is the guy who gets bumped up.
I think
and
that
Hardman
could very
becomes
be real.
number 3 if they would move on from Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, which I think ultimately we all expect them to move on from Sammy Watkins. He's not worth $16 million a year for the production he's putting out, but you're right. I think they move on from him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they threw some cash to Demarcus Robinson, make him happy, and then, you got a few more years to let Mecole Hardman develop and not have to necessarily put the pressure on him right now to be the number 2 wide receiver. That's what would make sense to me. All right.
Hey,
running
he disappeared in the Super Bowl. Hardman disappeared in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And that would be a concern for me going into 2020.
Yeah, I hear that all the way.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.